Hello, and welcome to the 8th stream in the Alpha to PLEX series. Today we are continuing with our quest to farm enough ISK to get to Omega status as an Alpha clone in EVE Online in 2022. So let's begin by checking out the status of our trader character. In the previous stream we have left our trader in the main, and we have set up some sell orders for the items that we have converted from factional warfare. And today it would be nice to check if any of those items have been sold, because if they did, then we have got some decent profit from that trade activity while we were offline. Okay, so these are our daily gifts, and there is now a new event in EVE Online, but we are not going to participate in it again, just to make this guide as useful as possible and as universal as possible, so that it is staying valid even if our even if the event ends. So as you can see from our transaction log, we have actually managed to sell the Republic Fleet Firetail and also the spirits that we have left on sale in Movalainen have been actually sold out to another player who decided to buy some extra spirits from NPC traders. So we have recovered that money as well. But the worst part, it seems that we have not sold any of our nuclear L, actually Republic Fleet nuclear L charges. Yes, it seems so. So just from the way it is configured at the moment, it looks like somebody have delivered a few batches of them. First of all, we have been undercut by this larger order, and another order for 5,790 Republic Fleet nuclear L charges have been placed at a very low bid. This is actually a good solution, and this is a good strategy if you have enough money and you are not trying to earn a lot. You can deliver small batches. This is exactly what Holding Advisor tool will suggest. But at the moment we are going to do high price bidding, because at the moment we don't need this money immediately back, and that's just a small amount, and we can hope that somebody will buy out this order at a lower price, and then ours will be next, because the price difference is basically 2 times. So we are going to undercut only this large order. Okay, and we will leave it this way for the time being and let our trade go on as we do other things. In EVE Online you can have a lot of different orders placed at different stations, and you only need to visit them once in every 90 days to reinstate them if they time out. Okay, what do I have here? We have some skill points, a gift from CCP Games, and another skill points batch, and another 25,000. So actually I think we can redeem everything to current station, because it is a trade hub after all. Okay, and we can also redeem the skill points and ISKs. And then we need to add some skills for training on this character. We can, for example, set up some support skills, like skills in engineering, CPU management, and power grid management to level 5. And we can redeem this cerebral accelerator booster that basically will expedite the training speed for a couple of days for this character. Now, the skill book for destroyers we can also redeem. And biology as well. And let's just inject those into our character. I don't think that we need a frigate class starship at the moment, so we can leave it as is and just proceed with the rest of our activities. So last time we have earned about 170,000 loyalty points. Hello, I am broadcasting from Finland. And I actually just recognized that I need to change one setting. One moment. Okay, now it should be fine. So, yeah, we have 170,000 loyalty points from Minmatar Factional Warfare Corporation, Tribal Liberation Force, and we already have delivered some items, but we really need to cash out those loyalty points before we can start doing some real trading with our trading character, meaning trading using the tool and by buying stuff in Jita, hauling it to Amar, for example, and selling it in Amar. So let's head to Hack. And in the Hack, we're going to cash out some of our recently acquired loyalty points, and then we will deliver goods, probably still to Jita, just to get the cash as soon as possible, but maybe fraction of that we'll cash out by placing some sell orders again in Dodixie or Amar or even in Hack itself. So, okay, we have 28 jump trip. Meanwhile, let's check what in theory we could have delivered from Hack to Amar in addition to whatever we have. Let's say we have no limitations on the size of the cargo in terms of value. And we would like to limit ourselves to moderately cheap items and not very bulky ones. So 25 cubic meters per item. And let's see, what do we have? It takes a while to load and calculate the data because it needs to query basically every single item that is available on the market in both Hack and Amar to generate those sell and buy orders. Okay, so what do I have here? There are a few items that can be bought in HEC and delivered to AMAR. For example, this CV composite molecular condenser has zero competition, meaning that there are no sellers in AMAR for that item. And it has quite high ISK per cubic meter density, meaning that it is very suitable for transport by a ship like Sunesis. Neodymium, test cultures, broken drone transceiver. What else? So mostly items that are high value items, and probably we can get much higher margin by delivering from JITA to HEC. Let's try and see what we can deliver from HEC to JITA, for example. Now it takes a little bit less time because it will only query orders from JITA. The HEC orders will be cached for a few minutes. And why don't we have sound? Okay. Here are some items as well, like test cultures, for example. Apparently are in great demand in JITA at the moment. As well as neodymium, titanium, and oxygen. But margins on these are not very great, so everything below 15% is a potential risk for us, because we will have to pay 8% tax plus about 3% in broker fees, so 11% of that margin will be cut away. But these two items, test cultures and small focused pulse laser, might be interesting. Well, escalations and complexes, dead-rated complexes, they are very nice ISK, but they are not extremely stable, because especially if you're farming like anomalies to get those escalations, then it will take a lot of time and a lot of random to get one, and the chances like 10%, 5%, I don't know. But the point is, it is random to get one, and then when you get there to escalation, it is random what loot you get. So it is a little bit unstable. And of course, any mining, ice mining or ore mining, they both are activities that you don't do with one screen. So the idea and the profit margins there are basically coming from the assumption that you will try to maximize your profits and run 3, 4, 5, even 10 clients sometimes at a time. So it's not really fair to compare in that way. Hello. Yes, if you are using buy orders, then JITA is usually more profitable. But if you have some time and it is okay for you to just set your loot for sale and wait, then actually JITA is the worst place where you can sell loot. In many cases, actually in most cases, any of other 3 trade hubs, JITA, HEC, or Dodixie, or even Rents, although it's a lesser one, they all will give you better sell price for anything if you are selling it yourself. And let's see if we can hold something from Jita to hack as well. This will be actually useful if we decide, for example, to cash out things from hack and deliver them to Jita for buy orders, and then buy things in Jita and deliver them back to hack for sale. Another spammer. Yeah, as you can see, delivering from Jita to hack has very huge margins, and some items have very low competition. It is of course a good question if cesium or scandium, being production materials, will be in great demand in hack. But if we can, for example, buy a few and then deliver, and then just let them sit there for a couple of months, if they sell, then it will be fine. If they don't, then we will just deliver them back to Jita eventually. But they will sell. Everything sells everywhere. It's just a question of how much time you need to invest in into selling things. So yeah, maybe yeah, it's a good idea to just use our hauler at the moment and deliver a few things. I wonder what these are. Because it seems to be some NPC good. Yeah, that you sell to buy orders from on the market. It doesn't seem to have any industrial value. Maybe something that Triglavians buy on their ships. Oh, sorry, in their systems. So yeah, we're going to ignore this one, just because I don't really know what's going on there. This is likely some industrial good. I think it was one of the latest additions to industry. Okay, it has very specific use cases, so it is used in this item. Okay, so basically I think it is either some Triglavian ship material or this newer material, more likely the second one, because I don't see any mutaplasmids or anything related to Triglavian space or abyss cells. Data cores will be definitely usable by people. Even though many people just buy them in Jita in bulk, some might decide that they need urgently a few data cores, so it might sell. Gamma filaments for sure definitely will be used by people in hack because this is an end consumer item. People use them just to farm money, and this is basically expendable. This is some old stuff. I don't think that people are still buying any. More materials, heavy water, colonial insignia. Yeah, these are definitely something that people might buy in hack, because they will decide to cash out using these sold locally. But this is a little bit of a risk item. Fuel blocks for sure, very good item, and 23% margin is not extremely good, but is acceptable for us, I guess. Yeah, let's check the best possible routes to Amar. Amar is basically the furthest hub away from Jita, and it makes a lot of sense to hold to Amar for the best margin, because it will add more value our activity. And yes, of course we can and we should check the items from Tribal Liberation Force that we can produce basically ourselves. So let's see, first of all, Jita buy orders. Yeah, there is not so much in terms of loyalty points. Probably because there is now, or at least there was tier 5 in factional warfare. The price is a little bit dropped. But that's Jita. Instead, if we go to, well, even if we go to Jita but sell prices, there is actually quite decent amount of items that we can cash out with very high ISK per loyalty point ratio. Even though those are all low volumes ones. These heavy missile launchers are probably quite useful for people, although the ratio between loyalty points and other costs is very bad. And same goes to these autocannons and artillery. Let's show 100 per page. Don't ask me again about it in Com Forces, please. Yeah, these sell quite nicely, but again, 20 items at million, that will be 20 million ISK per day sales, not very great. But Republic Fleet small shield extenders are, for sure. Yeah, I think we can sell those. What do we need to actually extract them? Navy Captain insignia, Colonel insignia, and shield extenders. Okay. And then 1,000 loyalty points, so we can sell at least 100 of them. So on the other hand, we don't have ISK to cash out all of them at once. Let's see specifically for ships. What can we extract via ships? So vigils are a good sale. 2.6 million ISK other costs. And after checkout and cash out, they are basically 16 million a piece. So we can have actually 4 of them hold per delivery. $54 million ISK on hand. Yeah, we can cash out a lot of them and sky this. Don't offer as good ISK per LP anymore here. Let's check out other hubs. Again, primarily domain. And let's check what we can sell in terms of ships there. Tempest fleet issue, well, that's probably going to be a little bit challenging, although it is probably the easiest way to haul a lot at a time and also cash out a very large sum of loyalty points. But I think that Hurricane fleet issue might be the way to go actually, because it gives us the opportunity to extract 100,000 at a time. It has very good sell price, and we can basically train Minmatar battle cruisers, I think, almost immediately on this character. So we have cruisers here at level 2. If we apply skill points to level 3. And then Minmatar battle cruiser. I think we will need level 2 actually. Okay, so Tribal Liberation Force. Yes, for fleet issue we'll need level 2. And we can see 3 million is the cost of the book. And if we check it on the market, that is about... Okay, so the closest one for 2 million will be in Nakogard. We can get there. And we need 55 million in other costs, so that's slightly suboptimal because we need... we only have at the moment 54 million. Plus we will need to have some other expenses, first of all skill book, and then we will need to do some other things. But we have items already ready for delivery here, I think. On our factional warfare character. So let's go there and check. And meanwhile we can check for the best actual price for Hurricane on Eve Marketer in different places. And for Hurricane for that matter, because it's possible that there is a Hurricane line somewhere waiting to be bought. So yeah, in JITA it's 149 million, in HEC 190. And a little bit more than that in Amar. But in Amar it is likely that we will actually sell it, because the volume of sales for this item should be quite small in HEC. Stubber is another option. Let's check also UUB chips. Okay, there are cheap ones in HEC actually. Quite a lot of cheap ones. Yeah, the system is now under heavy protection from Amar, so we probably cannot continue here anymore. And what's the status of factional warfare actually? Yeah, Minmatar is firmly in tier 5. And let's go to HEC from here. I wonder if there is any option to sort by distance from not JITA but from some station. Anyway, let's see what we have nearby. Not much really. And again we can check how much it would cost to produce a stubber. Using the maximal material efficiency it will cost us 10.4 million ISK. So quite expensive, and these are quite good discounts. But yeah, basically the best option for us would be to travel to Dodixie, for example, to get them and then extract those stabbers. How much it will take in terms of time? So it is just 8 jumps, which is okay. We're not going to travel by this character, of course, but by our trader. And there has been something already in my assets. One of those chips. Yes, I think it was UUB. So if I decide to cash out stabbers, I can buy 3. So I need 2 more chips and 3 hulls. And each hull, when it's packaged, I think, yeah, 10,000 cubic meters. I definitely don't want to travel them by hand, but fitting 3 hulls in a cargo would be difficult, so it will probably be worth going to location with a hauler, setting up a medical clone there, and then haul 2 hulls to hack, and then self-destruct to get quickly back to Dodixie and haul the last one. And in a similar way, we're going to then deliver things from hack to Jita. So we're going to deliver 1 hull, self-destruct, and then deliver, no, actually, we will deliver all 3 hulls by hand with self-destruct to get the back way. Okay, let's see how this plays out. We have a plan for today. And if after everything we will still have time or money, we will either trade or do factional warfare. But at the moment we have so many loyalty points that we cannot get rid of them, and that means that there is not much incentive for us to do factional warfare. Instead we need to do trading. Okay. Tribal Liberation Force Logistics Support, that's our station where we are cashing out things. And let's check that, yes, these are located in the proper place, and the sales in the system are on Boundless Creation Factory, which is not good, but, well, okay, and we can even close the client. And go to trader. So once again, where we are going to sell those. I have been checking basically domain prices for stubbers, fleet issue ones. And for hurricanes, hurricanes are probably too bulky at the moment for us to hold and cash out. We just don't have that much money right now. But for stubbers, we can sell them. The most profitable sell would be somewhere, well, at least in Dodixie we can sell them at 72 million. In Amar, 75 million, the cheapest order on sale, which is good. I think we can deliver them to either of those places. In Jita, sell order is 55 million. Oh, actually, in Dodixie 64.90. And still Amar 75. And this is calculation for 75, assuming 13 million ISK in other costs. We have 6 million per UUB chip plus 9 million per hull. That means 15 million. So even more, we will have even more penalties here. Well, okay. So definitely Dodix, definitely Amar. Is there any stubbers that I can buy right now in this system? 12.9. It's not a very good deal, but just because we actually have a lot of loyalty points and because we have the need to travel there anyway, I think we can buy one stubber. In the I Choose You market and industry, so that we fly to Amar already with one stubber hull in the cargo, set up a sale order, making things quite faster, and from there we will haul 2 more stubber hulls back, normal ones, convert them and haul them again to Amar. From action, so we need to buy one, yeah, it doesn't fit at the moment. We need to put our cargo hold expanders back. Okay, stubber, Nexus chips, undock. Yeah, this is one thing that happens sometimes, and that's why just flying directly to station is not the best way, the most secure way if you're hauling something expensive. And that's why you need dock bookmarks, because you can warp out, you can warp into the station at about 2 kilometers range, and the dock range of station is 500 meters, so you will not be able to immediately dock after you have arrived. Okay, since we're going to haul one of those badgers back, we will need to change only one inertial stabilizer, or sorry, cargo hold for inertial stabilizer, because otherwise we will not have enough cargo. And let's contract these to ourselves. To our fractional warfare character, and no need to do any exploration, just create it. Quit. And let's proceed with cashing out. Just one stubber fleet issue. We will extract 45,000 loyalty points with that. Accept the contract and don't close it, because we will need to deliver things back. And loyalty point store and fleet issue. And we can purchase one stubber. Yes. Actually, I wonder what would be the effort and the cost of these items. Is it any better to produce? Whoa. 145, 12, 1. Yeah, this is beyond any doubt not worth it. These new items made it completely unbalanced. They should be worth like 5 million ISK, so that the stubber is worth producing. But yeah, CCP sometimes messes things up. Anyway, we have one stubber fleet issue. We can contract it privately to our other trader character. Next. We're going to keep chips on this one. And just hold this to domain. Actually, I just realized that we will not be able to fit 2 hulls of stubber into this ship anyway. which means that we will actually need to do some pod jumping after the fact. Well, I really don't want to assemble a larger cargo hold for a ship, because it will also make it slower. And 26 jumps. So first of all, I would like to set up a home station for this clone. This way we can always return to this particular location. So after we do 26 jumps in a stubber, and I'm also not making any fitting on this one because I plan to return by Pod Express. So even though it will take us additional couple of seconds on warp out, there is no reason to fit this ship. And of course, if you are doing this by yourselves, if you are not replicating exactly my stream, the best way to hold these things will be AFK. So this ship is 100% safe AFK travel. If somebody decides to kill them, well, they will get nothing of it, like literally nothing, except for the salvage from the wreck, but it's also not worth much, because it's still a Tech 1 hull. And this means that you can basically autopilot this ship. There is no reason for anyone to destroy the thing that you are flying, just for the sake of it. Now, when you have cargo in your ship, like in industrial, if you hold them in the cargo hold, then it is more dangerous, and then autopiloting is probably not recommended. And since it takes like 25 jumps on autopilot, that will be 40 to 60 minutes, depending on the system sizes. And you can just, well, let the system autopilot this route, and then take a stubber and fly back. And by the way, there has been one cheap stubber in Khanid. Yeah, this not very cheap. In low security space in Misaba, that's not a good option. Placid is not good either. So yeah. And of course, this is suboptimal way of dealing with this kind of transportation problem, but with our limited ISK cache, we don't have better option at the moment. We have to do everything by ourselves for the first time. So my idea would be to actually distribute our risks a bit. Since we can sell one stubber flat issue already in hack at 70 million ISK, we can try doing that and then sell one in Amar that we're holding right now and sell one in Dodixie. And we will just have all those 3 orders set up, and whichever one is fulfilled first, that will bring us some money. This way we are basically increasing the chance that somebody will buy our ship very quickly, because we act on 3 markets at the same time. And because we are holding ships one at a time, we will have to use 3 market orders from our trade limit anyway. Unless we are willing to deliver the item and then wait for some time before we deliver the next one, which is not good. It's wasted time. We currently have 17 maximum trade sell orders, or sell and buy orders actually. So we have resources for that. And since these are all alpha account trade orders, we can always create a new alpha account and add another 17 trade order slots. There is no rule against that. By the way, if you have any questions about your playstyle in EVE, if you are just starting, feel free to ask them in the chat, and I will try to answer them as detailed as possible, given that these limitations that I have at the moment in terms of resources and capacity to demonstrate things. And while we are flying, we can also do project discovery maybe. I have not yet initialized it on this character, so it is currently completely empty. Okay. This tutorial is a little bit weird to my taste, but if you are doing this for the first time, then maybe it's a good idea for you to follow it carefully. Actually, I think there should be 3 of them. Okay, now it tells it has been 2. So our accuracy was quite bad here. Here are at least I see 4, and basically you need to identify the edges between these cells based on the samples that you have available from the measurement equipment, and then based on those borders you need to just draw the rest like squares probably, or some 4-sided edges, 4-sided shapes that will define the external ones at the border. There is no penalty for having extra area selected by this. Okay, there was another one. And yeah, there is a hint. I always forget that in this training there is 5 for some reason. You can do course marking first, like this. And once you are done with that, you can actually drag the points closer together to make sure that the gap between these bands is as small as possible, and that line that separates these bands is basically something that you can say that, yeah, this is probably the edge between these two, the most likely one. For everything else, you don't care. The external ones may look anyway, it doesn't matter. Yeah, as you can see, I have messed up this line, and this is not perfect, and this is far away from perfect. I think the real samples are simpler than this, or at least the consensus is more obvious to human brain than what is proposed for training. Okay, it puts the edge here, so I should have moved it a little bit up. The accuracy affects your payouts, of course, but not that much that you want to be extremely careful and plan every move, because the payouts are not very big after all, so you don't care. It's a more of an activity that you do just to save some time while you are traveling. Also, on the first day you will have very limited amount of samples, and you will get some amount daily. As an alpha clone you will have more severe limitations than as an omega, but that's reasonable so that people don't form this kind of activity just for points and crates. I think there is just 2 of them, which means that I can put and paint external border as wide as possible, even though it is obvious that there is nothing here. Yep, 96% accurate. Again, the most important part in every step is the edge between different groups. Everything else is more or less not graded and doesn't affect accuracy. So 97%, because I almost hit the right angle. Okay, so this was the first one that was not a test one, and we don't get the correct result here. Instead we have this "thank you for your submission" note, and this means that for this sample there has not been yet an established consensus, or it was not published, at least within the game. Actually, maybe more like this. It's a little bit difficult to figure out to which of the groups these less intensive areas belong. Maybe even something like this. And of course they should not under any circumstances overlap. Even if it is a little bit of overlap, it's not permitted, but we can still put them quite tightly together. I wonder if this is a separate one, but probably not. And our first payout. Actually, I think it looks more like the edge is somewhere here. Let's run one. But it's difficult to say exactly. Okay, they even consider that the edge is horizontal. Well. Here it is more or less obvious. And we are going to extrapolate outside of the points that have been marked. Again, there is no penalty for marking extra area outside. Well, there is a chance that there is something outside. So let's mark 2, because I think there is no actual option to mark 1. There should not be such samples. But if anything, let's mark it this way. And then the consensus will tell if we have actually marked this correctly or not. So here we clearly have this separation edge, and then I think this, and it actually looks like we have something like this here. Okay, that's wrong way to do it. We have to actually mark things. Or maybe this still belongs to this one. It's difficult to tell, but I would argue that this is more likely. The important part here is that if you are getting a test sample, then you are not getting any penalties for accuracy. But if you're getting a train sample, then it is marked by professionals and or consensus, and then you really need to be careful, and you don't know which one is which, so you have to treat every single one the same way. But again, if it doesn't show you this actual true correct solution, then it has not affected your accuracy in any way. This looks like two of them. So let's mark it this way. Or maybe even 3. Yeah, there is something that looks like a separation line here. Whatever it is here on the outer side, it's difficult to define, but it's definitely not the same as the rest of it. Now we are almost at our destination. Okay, that will be enough for today, or at least for this trip. It's a fun way to pass time, but not extremely profitable, at least from the payouts themselves. You can see that we got 192, 173 and a half. Well, and we actually paid corporation tax on project discovery rewards, meaning that our NPC corporation, in which we are a member, took a hefty, I think 30% cut from our income, at least 11. That's one reason why you want to move out of these starter corporations as soon as possible into either your own or some other new player friendly corporation. But probably starting your own corporation is the easiest way, because nowadays it's not possible to declare wars on corporations anymore if they don't have any assets like stations in high security space. Then this means that you are pretty much safe to fly in high security space as if you were in an NPC corporation anyway. Okay, so we need to dock in Amar Emperor Family Academy. That's a local trade hub station. These stabbers are not extremely expensive and we could have bought them, but the thing is that we also would like to have our way back as soon as possible, and for that we are going to use Pod Express, and Dodixie is much closer than Amar from Heck. So we're going to, yeah, we're not going to buy this. Instead we're going to show full tree, repackage the ship that we have brought, and put it for sale. Daily trade volumes on these are not very large, but again, we can expect some sales maybe in a week. And now we can use the medical station and just self-destruct our pod inside the station. And we're back in Heck. Now we need to pick up a shuttle to make things slightly faster. And go to Dodixie. And with one Caldari shuttle, we are going to travel to Dodixie. And another thing that we are going to purchase in Dodixie beyond the ship hull, we are going to buy some cheap Tech 1 inertia stabilizers to speed things up when we're going to travel back. So here we're looking for this Federation Navy assembly plant at our destination, and then we're going to travel back to hack system, and we're going to head to this location. This time we're not going to do the pod express to Dodixie or from Dodixie, because first of all it's not that far, and second we are going to actually get one hull, convert it, return it to Dodixie, get the second hull from Dodixie. So we will buy two, but we will hold them one at a time. Yeah, and these are our first rewards from Project Discovery, but we really don't care about them. This frigate class starship redeemable is actually a very nice item to have, not to redeem, because it basically allows you to get to some remote location. I think it should be redeemable or even in Terra, and redeem it there in case you need in emergency some kind of shuttle or travel or transportation means, and you don't have any access to that. So since it lasts for 170 days, it's best not to actually cash it out, but have this as your life quest. Let's see what else can we in theory sell in Dodixie. Well, again, jackals, artillery. Yeah, fleet shields, fleet small shield extender. Not very great volume. but we can try actually buying a couple of those. If we have some money left after extracting stabbers, which we should, I think. I will buy 3 of them, and I will set destination back here, because autopilot routes are preserved between relogins, so we can safely get there and back. Okay. So yeah, the green paint costs a lot. When you have brown paint, the ship is much cheaper and also not so performant. What's our navigation at the moment here? 4 seconds alignment with 3 stabilizers. I think the fleet issue is actually faster in terms of alignment. Yeah, nuclear sell at 50 items per day on average. Not much. And small ones as well. Carbonized lead has slightly more sale volume. Okay, that's not true. So that's 5% of the volume. So 50,000 per day means reality 1,000 per day on average. But yeah, still not much. And also there is rounding for those that are below 1, so we don't really know what is the sell volume there. For some reason carbonized lead is popular. I don't know why. Navica boosters are, well, more or less universally valuable items because they allow PvP players to get more output of their capacitor boosters and more capacitor capacity, let's say, that they can boost from their cargo hold. So they are very valuable from that perspective, and actually I think that is one of the most reliable items in terms of ammunition that you can sell. And we now have 375,000 plus 81, and they sell at 71. So, and actually, yeah, it's actually per 20 items at a time. So you get 1.4 million ISK from this, in theory, and you spend 400,000. So yeah, it's a good deal, I guess. And we can try cashing them out. What else do we need? Normal cap boosters. Okay, we really don't need any more this stabber quarry. So let's look for normal cup boosters where they are the cheapest. And then Navica boosters, 44,900 in Jita, 48,000 in Amar, 55,000 in Heck, and I think Dodix is probably the most expensive ones at the moment. So yeah, why not? We can hold these as well. Stabber has 420 cubic meters in cargo, and a cup booster, well, if not, yeah, 150 Navy. A cup booster has volume of 4.5 cubic meters, so we can hold 80 4 packs. There are no cheap ones available for purchase. That's a problem. And Dodixie already basically just offers good price for the 150 version, right? Also for 3,200 ones. Very good offer. Well, yeah, that's the main, sorry. For 50. And they also sell well. Volume is 2 cubic meters, meaning that we can take 200 of them as a secondary item to sell. So he suggests that we should open these containers that we get from here. I can try and check if they are giving us any random ones, but the thing is that I would prefer not to rely on random luck. Not for this guide, at least. And that was Run Station. Since we need to pick up those Cup Booster 50s, and Navi ones are actually, yeah, smaller in size, but we won't be able to fit them into this hole. Never mind. So it will be around 8 million worth of boosters. Just everything. We will be safe holding that as well, even if we don't fit any tank on our stabber. Yeah, and we will need to post 1 million, a little bit more than 1 million ISK to another character, so that it has enough resources to actually exchange them, these cap boosters. And yeah, the ship itself, of course. I've just added the contract to the toolbar on the left, so that I can actually quicker get this. Okay. Now we have the stabber and items, and we can exchange again stabber, fleet issue, and then we're going to exchange cap booster 50. We're going to exchange 20 of them. 2.5 million. How did I miscalculate? Oh, no, sorry. 10 packages by 20. That would be all that we can exchange. Yes, good. And create contract back to our trader. Now one more trip to Dodixie, and then the last stabber we will sell right in Heck. And also the same thing for this character. Drag and drop. And then quick fitting the item, basically all our inertia stabilizers right from the hanger, and our root back and undock. So it was slightly more than 4 seconds on the previous one. Let's see, Fleet Issue version, yeah, it's about half a second more agile. And the game says that it's 2.6 million ISK, but if we will be lucky in selling this in Dodixie, then we will get about 10 million ISK from this batch. The problem with exporting these holes is that they are very bulky and they don't fit into Synesis, obviously. And they don't even fit well into industrials either, because these are cruiser-sized holes. They take 10,000 cubic meters, so the best you can hope for is 3 hulls per one slow industrial ship. So for Tech 1 that's acceptable, more or less. That would be the Gunkin limit anyway. But for the converted ones, the Fleet Issue ones, you really don't want to haul even 3 of them. So you will have to haul them manually as an alpha clone. And that slows things down. At least for the time being. Eventually maybe we can use Red Frog hauling services. Again, when there is enough cash, enough assets to afford some of them being blocked in hauling. And yes, the goal of holding these small batches of either not very commonly used ammunition or these cap boosters that are actually commonly used but now currently in great demand in Dodixie, because there is not enough people supplying them apparently. And yeah, is to just make sure that we can speculate from time to time for very good ISK to loyalty point ratio, and eventually maybe establish a few good items across different trade hubs that we know for certain that, okay, this item is sold well and we can always deliver 5 to 10,000 of something there. Even that would be just 50 million ISK normally. If you sell it at 6 times the price, then it will be 300 million ISK if you manage to sell this stuff. And once you hold it there, it can sit there for 3 months without any intervention from you and eventually sell maybe half. Then you come, modify it, and basically get additional passive income from servicing people who would otherwise would have left without these items. What is too expensive? Yes, it is expensive, but I would not say that it is too expensive. If you manage to haul like 1.5 billion ISK, well, basically the price limit, and if you are okay with just waiting, then it's not really that expensive. If you compare JITA to Omar, it will be maybe 3 to 5% of the price, but that's basically all your effort to actually buy and sell something, the hauling. And if they take it away from you, this need to haul, 3 to 5% doesn't sound that bad. For a lot of different items, you can get 5% margin on top of that, and taxes. The only problem with Red Frog service for me personally is that it is relatively slow. So you cannot expect that the freighter will deliver things in 1 hour. The travel time between JITA and Amar at best is about 1.5, but then the freighter needs to get to the location to pick things up. Not everybody has reserved ones, and yeah. So under normal circumstances, non-rushed contracts will be like 1-2 hours, that's best. And then the situation in the market might change if you hold something for selling. Package, rename. I actually have one pilot who has Red Frog hauling history. I have been active for maybe a couple of months, and I can tell you from the hauler's perspective, Red Frog service is very cheap. For what you get, for the expense of paying Omega account for this freighter character, for the expense of actually hauling, for the risks involved, well, it barely covers it. So people are who do this in Red Frog, they are doing it for almost like a, well, some kind of voluntary job. They don't earn that much, and all of them have the potential to just hold things like we're doing right now. Just get in, trade yourself. Yeah, the Black Frog service, yes. These are expensive. But again, the interesting thing is that if you add up all the costs that are involved in hauling things to null security space, whoa, that's also very cheap. the reason is, the main reason is that you need to own jump freighter, which alone costs like several billion, like several tens of billion nowadays already. And in addition to that, it costs a lot in the fuel. It costs a lot in logistics. You need to have a lot of different alts situated in special stations with equipment to create Sina beacons. And you need to do calculations, you have to wait between jumps, you have to basically set up those contracts in a safe way. There is a lot of hassle involved in hauling things between high security space and nullsec, especially if you're hauling from JITA to some more or less random null security area that they don't have a set of those alts and beacons already created for. Okay, somebody already has pasted a Stabber fleet issue at a lower price here. Well, we can actually try to sell it at this price, maybe. The 5 million difference, given that there is somehow 4 to 5 at best days Stabbers sold, so we can hope that somebody will pick ours up as well. Again, I could have used the tool to make appraisal, but the tool is good when you have a lot of different items that you need to sell quickly. Then it is invaluable. But if you are selling 1-2 items and you want to be sure that you are doing everything right, that you don't have some accidental wrong price that will have insane sell time or no sell at all, then yeah, it's better to do things manually and double check the market. So yeah, to summarize about Red Frog trade, if you're doing industry and you're doing hauling between JITA and Amar in freighter yourself, then either you're doing it wrong, meaning that you should have just outsourced this to Red Frog because they do this quite cheap, or you are doing it right, but your requirements are a little bit different than just pure cheapest way of travel. So it might be so that you need to have things quickly, or you need to have a certain set of things, or you don't want to basically highlight the positions that you are holding between JITA and whatever trade hub you are holding to, so that other competition doesn't happen before you deliver items there, and so on. This kind of logic. Although Red Frogs, I think, don't have high risks involved in like spying on your goods and so on, because they care about their reputations quite carefully. So yeah, we're not having much cash anymore, but on the other hand we're now doing this hybrid extraction of loyalty points and at the same time trading, because we hold things to different trade hubs and sell them by ourselves, hoping to get higher profit margin than we would otherwise do. And the difference is, for example, for this stubber in Dodixie is around 12 million, for domain about 15 million extra on top of what we get in Jita for the same item. So it's quite decent income. And also saves us the opportunity, or the need to pay the sales tax twice. But I guess at the moment we will cash out the last one and go back to factional warfare to just farm more loyalty points, since we have no ISK anymore to cash them out. And we have to wait for a little while, at least maybe before the next stream something will sell, and we will be able to pick up that cash and cash out more. Basically, if one of 3 stubbers sell, then we have enough cash to keep generating them and placing them in different trade hubs or stations, selling them to Jita maybe even. So yeah, the plan for today would be now to finish this stabber, put it on sale here in Hack, go to factional warfare, check out what's the status, if we can do some offensive plexes, novice or small ones, and try doing them. And if there will be some delays, like if there will be interruptions by PvP players, or if we will find no plexes, then we will do the raffle. And let's see how long can we do the factional warfare plexing today. At the very worst case, the stream will be until the downtime, and after that I will stop. And if by the next stream nothing sells, like nothing at all, or we will get less than 50-70 million ISK, and we need to cash out factional loyalty points, then we can always take the item, the stabbers that we are going to cash out here in hack, cancel its sale, and deliver it to Jita to a buy order, for example. The sell volume here is not very good, honestly. And it also seems that at least sometimes people are selling them to buy orders rather than buying them from sell ones. But a couple of sales a week is still possible. So having one hull here for sale is not a big risk for us. I think this would be a good price both psychologically and in terms of our undercutting the competition. Okay, back to factional warfare. We have 38,000 loyalty points left here. Everything else has been cashed out. Okay, factional warfare. there is this one system, and then asset, which was quite busy, and then Arzat and Sahtogaz. Well, let's check any of them in any order. This seems to be quite contested, meaning that it probably will contain also people defending it. And the most contested one, allied system, is Camilla, 26.7%, which is not good. Okay, skill points and money we can redeem to home station, meaning that they will be instantly applied to our character. What else? This we don't need right now. And for the next 48 hours we have boost to training speed. Not very significant one, but anything is better than nothing. And then we can also check what about the skill points and stats of this character. Yeah, the attributes are now flat, so they are all set to 23. This is not the situation you want to be in after you have trained a little bit, or if you plan on keeping the unallocated skill points for use with skills that you don't train often. You probably for the first time in the game want to set up a remap to perception willpower, because it will give you bonuses to training speed for ships and guns. Okay, and to do that you press this remap button and then reduce memory, intelligence and charisma, and then max out perception and use the rest to add points to willpower and save it. And as you can see, weapon upgrades and CPU management. I think weapon upgrades actually became faster. Yes, because it is perception memory, but memory is secondary attribute, perception is still more important for it. Here it is intelligence and memory, but well, we have reduced both of them, so CPU management will train longer, but we don't care that much. We will instead eventually apply skill points to this one, maybe. Instead I'm going to add some gunnery skills, like controlled bursts and the gunnery itself. Trajectory analysis. So everything that takes quite a lot of time to train. That's enough for the couple of weeks, and then we can review. The point is to just keep training until you hit 5 million skill points mark. That's the limit for Alpha Clone, but that is also the optimal point from which you can start well, extracting skill points. Okay, there are no enemies from other faction, only one neutral. So let's make a safe spot. Actually, we have one. And let's see what's going on here in the system in terms of complexes. So there is medium outpost, open, small, head per git, novice outpost. Let's do the novice one. Hide ventures. No ships in the space, at least none that we see. And we keep using hail because that's the most damaging ammunition that we can have access to. And the frigate. I don't recall if we have actually tried doing novice outposts with this new fit, the one that has extra DPS already, 132 DPS with Tech 2 guns and ammunition. And most importantly, Tech 2 weapon upgrade. I think we haven't, because now apparently the frigates are getting obliterated quite rapidly. Yeah, I think we only did one destroyer sized. And for the sake of operational security, we can clean up the wreck after ourselves by destroying it. Now people don't know if we have destroyed any wrecks inside. Okay, new frigate. It's interesting that apparently enemy pilots move between different systems in groups. Probably they just migrate together with corporation based on the need of the day for the sake of capturing systems or protecting them. But in our case, this means that we can always find a system that has not such a huge presence of enemy pilots in it. The interesting thing is that there is no small outpost in the system, which means that somebody has completed it recently. We know that novice outposts respawn in 30 minutes, so it's a good question who did it. But I think it would be a good time after this outpost to make a raffle, and then if there is a small outpost, then I will start doing that. If not, we will have to wait for the novice outpost to respawn. And I guess we can actually start doing raffle. I will switch the chat to subscribers only mode. Okay, so the chat should be now in subscribers only mode, and you can type the in-game name of your character. Today there will be no need to join a chat, so just type the name of your character and I will use some online tool to raffle the prizes. 3 prizes for 100 million each, if we will have more than 3 people. If not, then each person will just get 100 millions. Hello again. And welcome again as well. So the time will be until the end of this complex plus, let's say, 5 minutes that will take for me to relog into the account with money. That's good. That will make things easier for me to find you. Mysterious red capsule. If I only had fireworks with me, I could have used it to get this event skill points. Or I can just find it and destroy it to get 5 points for the event. It's actually probably going to be quite straightforward to find it. It should be on some object, I think. I don't think it is like requiring some scan. So once we're done with this PLEX, if it is still there, we can spend 1 minute. We're probably going to have some kind of capsuleer log off timer anyway. And we can scan it now already. So the easiest way to do is to use directional scanner. And yeah, we can see that it is located somewhere at 5-2, either on this station, or maybe the moon or planet. So there are some objects here still. 2 moons, 1 planet, 1 customs office. Somewhere there is this capsule. More likely that it is somewhere on the moon than or a planet than on a station, because, well, if it is considered hidden, then it should not be on a station. Yeah, still no small outpost. Only the ore site. Okay, let's check the planet. We are almost at promotion. We need 4 more sites to complete. And now from this place we can actually again use directional scanner and pinpoint stations. No, not on stations. So we need to add moons to the overview. Moon, add one to the overview, and then ping, yeah, this moon. Saves a lot of time. Instead of warping between these objects, you can just use directional scanner to find it. And that's the capsule. Almost at 0. I wonder if we need to have a disruptor to keep it in place, but let's hope not. Done. What's the drop? One acceleration gate key. Okay. I wonder if those gate keys are worth something. Okay, and we have 4 minutes 26 seconds to wait, after which we will complete the raffle for today. So you have until the end of this timer to write your name in the chat, and for those people who do, if there will be 3 or less, then they will get 100 million each. If there will be more than 3, then I will use some online tool to generate random winners for 3 packages of today's raffle. Okay, now there is a more small outpost, but yeah, we will not do it right now. Raffle first. And meanwhile, I can probably check what's this one. Grista's Hunt Outpost or Hunt Secure Storage Site. So basically, we need to find some kind of event anomaly and go there. And then after we complete it, we will be able to use this gate to enter the final room, which probably will have some kind of extra loot. And now we have to locate and destroy 5 more of them. Well, that's probably a nice addition to just waiting in low security space, so why the hell not? Probably hunt data relay site with this key will be more valuable than the anomaly. Hunt secure storage site. I wonder if it is what they meant by data relay. And yeah, we still have those 7 tags. So we have 7 million ISK that I forgot to cash out. Well, let's hope that we don't die. And let's make sure that we don't. Okay, so 1 more minute left for today's raffle. After this minute elapses, I will return chat to normal and I will raffle if necessary, or just give out 100 million ISK to participants. So far we have 2 participants. And the chat is back now into normal mode. And let's congratulate our today's winners, Militrillian and Bangotur Mangiri. Okay, and I'm sending the corporation funds. Yay! And thank you for participation. Let's get back to the stream. And before that, I would like to check out. There was this key given out to this character as an Omega gift. I wonder if... okay, it can be found in contracts. I wonder what's it worth at the moment. People sell it for 3 million ISK and 15 million ISK. And some people are buying it at 5 million ISK. And even 21 million ISK. Whoa. Oh, well, but for 10, of course, and for 5. So 2.1 million ISK is about the price that people are willing to pay for these. That's without any other effort in finding something and doing something. So yeah, you're welcome. So yeah, if you find what's that? Okay, if you find something, some red capsule on directional scanner and you have a combat capable ship, I think it's worth spending these 1 minute locating it and warping and killing it. Can be a little bit of fun. Exactly the same thing that we got from this red mysterious capsule, the YC124 acceleration gate key. I don't think it is sellable on market, but as you can see on in contracts you can sell it. If you have two, then you can get 2.1 million per each. and some people are selling one. Basically someone need to buy out these and resell them at a profit, but need to verify the location probably. And the dry mills are gone. Or almost. Well, first of all, if you have any extra slots, you can create a new character that will be in Caldari, and it will be like 2-3 jumps from Jita. That's on your Omega account. But yeah, you have to be Omega to get that login reward key, but you can also get that key from that red mysterious capsule if you find one. So if one just spawns in your system or somewhere where you see it on a directional scanner already, just go ahead and kill it. Using the narrow angle scan, you can find it in basically like 10 seconds. Just scan through objects, probably planets and moons, priority, and yeah, just go there, kill it, get the loot, get the key. Well, it does not mean that you cannot do both, actually. Yes. So if you have fireworks, then you can also get skill points. Or at least one time get skill points. And yeah, some ships will have this extra high slot that you can fit with fireworks. I think firework launcher is not really a launcher, meaning that it does not take a rocket launcher slot and require one. Yes. It's interesting that there is no like starter package for the event to get the actual firework launcher and fireworks. I think it's possible that you have to kill some Gorista ships in those anomalies to get one. Usually it makes sense. I mean, those launchers and fireworks, they are event specific, so there is no guarantee that a launcher from previous event will be actually helping you in this one. So the most likely outcome, the only thing that if you had participated in this event maybe previous years, then you might have a specific launcher that is suitable for these particular fireworks and so on. But I don't think that it's a loss for you anyway. So before we start cashing out our loyalty points next time, I think it is wise to aim for Typhoon Fleet issue, for example, if we can get this Minimatar Nexus chip for, at a reasonable price. And that means that we need to have 250,000 loyalty points in account at least. And 356 million ISK of sold goods. So maybe not even yet. Maybe not Tempest, the Hurricane. Maybe the Hurricane. So 100,000. Either way, the goal would be from now on to spend more time in factional warfare and less time hauling stuff, because it is not very efficient to do with low value ships. We have already added some in different locations for sales. If they sell, then it's good. If they don't, then probably we should stop doing these deliveries until they sell, at least. And maybe focus on something like, more expensive items. The Hurricanes and the Typhoons. Hurricane does not have a very good ratio in terms of payout, but at the same time it does have this very big benefit of cashing out very large sum of ISK with little time compared to Stubbers, for example, and Scythes. Interesting. This is actually some kind of Holler character. What's their service? They have some limited set of destination stations or something. Weird. Never mind. I think I have not seen this nebula before. So yeah, this new Proton version definitely works better in terms of graphics for Eve client compared to the old Vine version that I have been using. I also noticed that there has been significant improvements in terms of performance. And even though I'm currently playing at maximal settings, I don't have any frame per second issues, which I had before. Yeah. So yeah, it's nice to see EVE Online more playable than before on Linux. Very unusual. I am disabling Afterburner so that my ship has better agility, and it apparently does not need that Afterburner bonus to catch up, but it sometimes overshoots and starts this oscillation, which prevents it from reaching the optimal range of the gun. So, Harpy. Pirate, some pirate in the system. It's not good. And enemy, even worse. Let's align to safe spot. Harpy in close range, very close range, confirm alignment, disappeared. Huh, that's weird. Okay, warp out. And this person we will add as a contact with big red minus. Even if they will not have this red blinking light at some point, we still don't want to miss them in the local. Crucifier Navy issue is probably this Carlos Ramos. Because we know that this person is flying a Reaper. And we can probably have alignment to the small outpost and use directional scanner to check it. So no one is there yet. Let's check what this person is. On some safe spot probably. But not very far away. Someone has just warped past us. Actually, no, I don't think so. Downtime is basically usually the safest time from PvP, because people are... Well, the reason why downtime is where it is because this is the least active time zone. It's actually quite opposite. If you look at EVE Online stats, well, 1000, or you mean 10,000 maybe? I don't know. There has been shifts, of course, in how many players from different areas play now that Asia is more active on the main server. But I don't think that it is really the case that people are more active during downtime. I would say that, yeah, we can pretend that we are not here, but the point is there is another person here. There's a Magitano. So it's not good for us either. So this crucifier, I think that's the enemy, and it is now in the small outpost. I don't know if it's checking it out or what does it do there, but it is definitely in that direction. Well, I guess, yeah, the lowest point is now at 6 a.m. server time and 6 a.m. But you can see the downtime actually does happen a little bit past that mark. So it's still quite low. Well, somebody will die there eventually. But I would bet that Incursus will probably die. Tech 1 frigate versus faction frigate is not very good bet. Let's get a little bit closer to disrupt their fight if there is any. Okay, so yeah, apparently the Incursus is now dead. But on the bright side, this crucifier is probably damaged and will likely leave the outpost for us. Unfortunately, this ship is not PvP combat capable, primarily because we don't have micro warp drive, we don't have tackling module, and yeah, the fleet is overall not focused on PvP at all. So it will take very little effort for anyone to kill us. Okay, now it's gone. Rhea has arrived. Nice. And that's probably this Moonspire caller and another Rhea. Whoa. Okay, so the wreck of Galenta frigate is empty. And at the moment we can just go on shooting the destroyer. They have managed to take out a few minutes out of the timer, so we'll have to redo that again, annoyingly. And that person docked up, actually, I think. They will probably wait for the 15-minute timer to pass before undocking again, because nobody wants to have extra PvP timer if you are not right now engaged in PvP. And I'm strategically leaving the wreck of the frigate, just so that this Carlos Ramos does not have extra information about us being here, if possible, or even visiting this place. So it should look the same when they undock. And this was indeed a sign of venture, no joke. Industrial sinusoidal fields is the location of that venture. And if we were a pirate, I would have been able to just go there and have an easy kill. But we're not. Just mark this person as dangerous, because again, we have just seen them being engaged in PvP, actively hunting another person, so it's good for us to be aware of them in case I forget the next time I see them. Okay, Crucifier is now on scanner, so we are aligning to safe spot. and keep checking. It's very likely that they will try to come here and kill us as well. Okay, well, never mind. Apparently they decided to do this novice outpost to camp it, I don't know. Makes no sense to do it because contested ratio on the system is just 6%, so the payout would be nothing. So yeah, I really don't know what is their game here. But there is now quite a lot of different ships. And there is one hawk nearby, including heading to our direction maybe. No, not yet. Then just stop the ship without alignment. Yeah, having just one active PvP player of enemy faction in local is always annoying. You never know what they are going to do, so you have to be prepared for the worst case, that they will warp to you at a random moment in time, and yeah. will prepare bookmarks in a more convenient format. This Astero I am no longer worried about, because if it tried to kill us, it would have did so. There is no reason for it to just hang out somewhere. Also, Astero is not very fast tackler, so even if it appears, we still have very good chances to warp out before it is being able to lock us, just when it appears in the overview. This Kestrel is probably this Burdiam guy. There has been a fight, and the Kestrel is dead. What a surprise. So yeah, I believe that this person is just camping. That's a novice outpost, which basically means that we would not go there either. And the best strategy for camping anything in factional warfare is to have a close range scrambler double triple web ship and just sit at 0 from the beacon, and if somebody arrives, you just insta-lock it, insta-scramble, insta-web it, and if it is some ranged ship, like a Kestrel, then you have very good chances of killing it, even if you are in the same class, and in this case it's not even the same class. Maybe that is one of the reasons why this person is not trying to actually hunt us down. And you can see that they did actually exactly that here. You can see that this wreck of Incursus is just, well, 5 kilometers away from the warping point. That's as far as they were able to move. So there is Enyo, which is probably this Blood Knight. Okay, they're gone. Crucifier is again on scanner. Okay, and now it's heading our direction. Is it? Yeah, I think it is. Okay. There is some propaganda going on. Well, sure. I just don't see the reason for him to insist that I'm fighting him. It's just stupid. Well, we could have done a log off trick, but I don't want to, and I believe that actually he intends to stay here and camp for other players. Okay, that's what I thought. So just pay for Omega, that's the opinion. Well, you can see what sometimes people think about if online. Oh well. He has no time for me while sitting in a PLEX in factional warfare doing literally nothing. Yeah, it is probably cheaper to buy some bulk subscription, and yeah, plexes are cheap. But the problem with subscription and paying subscription nowadays that you can extract skills. There is not much difference between buying Plex and paying for subscription anymore. In previous days it was like you pay subscription, yeah, but you get the right to play the game and nothing else. And there is no way around it, it's fine. But now you buy the right to play, but at the same time you get skills which you extract, which you get, and you get opportunity to get money. There is no point in doing anything, like literally anything in game, if you go that way. You can just buy anything you do in game would be worse compared to any salary you can get in real life, even if a third world country. I don't know, maybe somewhere in very poor country, if you are at the bottom of the economy, then yes, maybe you can pay the game with plexes and that makes sense. But I don't know. If you have enough skills to learn your own language and English, then you can be a freelance translator and it will earn you more than any activity in EVE Online. So then what's the point of playing EVE Online if you can, well, if the most logical conclusion, you buy everything with Plex, because that's the most efficient response. Then you stop playing it. Then you start only coming here to do PvP. Well. Well, yeah, I believe that's from my experience of living in Russia for some time before I moved out. Russian people will find a way. It's interesting that I don't see this person on a scanner anymore, anywhere in the system. But at the same time, there is this weird harpy. Well, I don't know. Now there is harpy inside that small outpost. And probably that harpy is the same Carlos Ramos. At least I don't see a reason why this Yamnemnya would change the ship from Astero to anything. Anyway. Yeah. Well, yeah, definitely. Okay, that's the pirate. Interesting. Yeah, well, I understand people who have money, who want to just play the game from time to time and don't care about things, and I do that sometimes myself, but yeah, just this logic that you don't farm, but instead you just go and pay $20 just to avoid farming. What's the point? If you want to do PvP so badly that $20 is not enough. That's a problem. You need to have, like, I don't know, $200, $300 investment in your character in terms of skills before you are capable PvP character, and maybe even more than that in terms of your free time to become a capable PvP pilot. I'm not counting ships. For small ships like used in functional warfare, it's not a big issue, but skills are, and yeah, that's definitely not a $20 payment. And if you deny new players the opportunity to earn money in factional warfare, then you basically deny yourself opportunity to PvP anyone later. That's it. I would have been happy to join the fight when this person had a fight with us in Cursus. I would have been very happy, but cannot really do that anymore. What I can do though is just suicide into any PvP encounter this guy will have with other people. But I don't think that will happen anymore. At the moment I think it is quite scared of the pirate. Okay. The ship and the person disappeared at the same time, which is, I don't know. Can we try going into the outpost again? Might be. But if it is a log off, it will be still warping in from that safe location. So we just need to be extremely careful, and we can still do that. Okay. So he just restored this PLEX to its default state. Weird, but wait. Well, why not? There is now actually not enough time to complete this PLEX. That's a problem. So yeah, I think that will be all for today. And we will see what will be possible on the next stream. Thank you for watching. Unfortunately, we have encountered one persistently annoying person. And yeah, that's the problem. And we would need at least additional maybe 5 minutes to kill them, since they are destroyer size. Well, never mind. Next time, next system, probably no Carlos Ramos anymore. What a funny person. Anyway. Yep, thank you for watching and fly safe. See you next time.